That's how she likes it, the clitoris. Because you see, the clitoris, let me grab my assistant here. My clitoris. Grab it, show it. My clitoris, yes. The clitoris has a...
Show it, because there are a lot of people who don't know where it is, okay? It's true, guys. This is what makes it a hit here on TikTok with 6 million views. Show it to those who don't know. You guys...
Give a name to my stage assistant. Look. She's like this. Our vulva.
Let me say one more thing. Show it. I put it really...
close to my face. That's not a problem. Our vulva, what is it made of, right? Here we have the labia majora, but actually we don't call them labia majora anymore, okay, guys? Labia majora and minora don't exist anymore, okay? We say inner and outer lips. Let me explain to you why that is. Every guy watching me here knows that your vulva is not the same as the one you see in adult movies, in adult videos. Pink, white, symmetrical, cute. Every vulva is different from one another. When we used to say small lips and large lips, we were obviously associating it with size, right? Because that was their name. And that's not always what happens in practice. Sometimes our lip, when we talked about the smaller lip, it was actually bigger than the larger lip. And then it got kind of confusing because that can happen. So we changed the terminology to inner lips, which are the smaller ones technically, and outer lips, okay? So that we can move away a bit from this idea of standardizing our vulva, because we know this happens. We know that we look in the mirror and don't recognize our own vulva because we're not going to see that infantilized vulva we're used to seeing in porn movies. Because it's a childlike vulva that we see in porn movies, right? Men want a child's vulva. Pink, hairless, smooth, without any blemishes. That doesn't exist in an adult woman, in a real woman, right? Anyway, and so here is our very own brand new and quite exciting. A back room here, but my dogs ate it, so it's not here anymore. Only the glue from where it was is left here. But anyway, here, if you can see, here, I'll open it up a little. Here is, let me pull it out a bit, the clitoral hood. It's this little one right here. Here, this little button here is to represent the path of the urethra, the exit of the urethra. Because men, if you don't know, women have 2 exits, women have 2 holes. There's the hole for urine to come out, which is the urethral opening, and the little hole of the vaginal canal, which is where penetration happens and where the baby comes out when it's born. That's why menstruation comes out through the bigger one. But there's a little place for pee. That's not the same place. So if this information is new to you, congratulations. You're learning something very important on today's show. That women have 2 exits. In fact, there was a viral moment on Big Brother Brazil, maybe in 2018 or 2017, where a girl said during an endurance challenge, I put in a tampon because if I pee, the tampon will hold the pee in for me for a bit. No. The tampon goes in a different hole. The tampon goes in the hole where the menstruation comes out, not where the pee comes out. Pee comes out of its own little hole just for that. Here it is. The pee hole is reserved just for it. So now you know nothing at all. And then the clitoris is here, so just the little hood sticks out. That's what we see, right? Some women have this little hood more hidden. Some women have a hood that's a bit more raised, and you can see it better here, the clitoral prepuce, right? But everyone has this little button on the outside, which is the visible part of the clitoris, right? Which is where men, now I'm talking to you guys. This is where you need to invest your time, okay? This is where the power is, the power. It's right here. It's all right here. This is the magic button, okay? So learn how to use this spot. But the clitoris is much bigger than that. You just mentioned how during penetration, women don't feel pleasure at the end of the vaginal canal. And it's true because the clitoris, I'll show you from the back now, it's right at the entrance of the vaginal canal. So my finger here is going to simulate the penis. Look, the penis enters the vaginal canal and comes into contact with the clitoris. This little clitoris of mine here, it's already aroused. These bulbs here get bigger when it's aroused. So here it's already aroused. So the penis enters here and rubs against the clitoris. That's why penetration is also pleasurable for women. And it's not all the way at the end of the vaginal canal. So that's why men, it's really true when we say that size doesn't matter. Because actually the bigger it is, the more uncomfortable it gets. Because at the very end of the vaginal canal, there's the cervix. There's nothing pleasurable to be found at the end of the uterus, at the end of the vaginal canal. It's at the entrance. That's why it's important, as we always say, for you to focus on the clitoris. Because now I'm going to take it out from here. This little part that's visible, you see that it's just a tiny piece of the whole clitoris. So that's also why when we talk about the G-spot, the female G-spot, things like that, we say, like, the G-spot is nothing, but I believe it exists. Because we say to reach the female G-spot, you need to insert your finger into the vaginal canal, about 2 centimeters in. So almost up to the second joint of your finger, and make a come here motion. You've heard this before. You insert and make a come here motion. But really, if you insert your finger here in the vaginal canal and make that motion, who are you stimulating? The clitoris. It's always the clitoris. It's the main character in everything. That's the little one you need to learn to love, care for, and stimulate. Because it's the clitoris that will give pleasure to a woman. After sex, a woman's clitoris gets swollen like this because it's not puffy like that when it's at rest. And then this spot, this little button of the clitoris, becomes very sensitive when a woman orgasms because it's extremely filled with blood, just like a man's penis after he orgasms. You don't want anyone touching there because it's super sensitive. The structure of the penis and the clitoris is the same, only the shape is different, but it's basically the same thing. The clitoris swells when it gets aroused. Ladies, try this at home. It's really interesting. Yeah, take a little mirror, look at your vulva, see where everything is, locate the clitoris, notice what it's like, whether your hood covers it more or less. Do this exercise at home, and if you want to show your partners, even better. And when you're aroused, take another look. You'll see that the whole area changes. The entire region becomes filled with blood, turns redder, gets swollen, and becomes more sensitive, including your clitoris here. So this little hood here will get much bigger, swollen, and more sensitive. In fact, this is where the famous clitoral suction toys come in, which are one of the most beloved toys among women. They work by simulating a suction right here, specifically on the glands of the clitoris, and then it gets even more swollen and filled with blood, increasing blood flow to this area. So when a woman orgasms, it becomes very sensitive here, similar to the penis, because the structure is the same. So women can keep having orgasms because even though it's similar, the penis can't, right? So it doesn't need to go soft after sex. It stays here aroused, full of blood and sensitive. That's why women can keep going while men need to take a break.
What a lesson, gentlemen. What a lesson. If you learned something just now, you already know, right? Hit the button, subscribe, and give your like. Thanks, huh? Look, this lesson was worth it, huh? That's crazy. And the stimulation? What's the right way to stimulate that area? We already know where. Now let's learn how. So, is there a right way? With more pressure, softer, wetter, drier? Does it depend on the woman? How is it?
Well, first of all, it depends on the woman. So the first thing, as we've already said here, ask, right? And listen to what the woman's body is telling you. So remember that just like you don't only have a penis, you have testicles, you have the perineum, you have other areas. Women do too. Even though the clitoris is the star of the show, the woman has her entire vulva. So explore that vulva with kisses, with licks, the wetter, just like for men. For women, that's good too, right? So if you want to use a warming or cooling lubricant for that thing we talked about, sensations, exploring all 5 senses, you can do all of that with the vulva too. So really take your time exploring the area without rushing. I think maybe one of the main complaints women have is that men are in a hurry. Men want a half hour of oral for themselves and then only want to give 2 minutes of oral to her. They're always in a rush. And obviously that's not going to work. It's like thinking about getting oral in a hurry. Do you want to get oral for just a minute and a half? You don't want to get oral for just a minute and a half, do you? So give decent oral. So really enjoy it. We women, it's like we have a built-in software that lets us know when you're just doing it out of obligation. So don't do it just out of obligation. Do what you actually want to do. And do it with enthusiasm, just like men do. I doubt that men can't tell when someone is giving oral just out of obligation or when they're really into it. Everyone knows when that's happening. So let's not do it just because we have to. Do it with passion, you know? So really explore this area, move around here and there before getting to the clitoris. Leave the clitoris for last. It'll be there just waiting for its moment. Really make the most of it. Get it nice and wet. Kiss it. Lick it. Suck it. Do whatever you feel like doing. You're not going to bite because it's a sensitive area, always. Think about how you'd want it done to you, right? Unless she asks you to, okay? Only do those extreme things if she asks for it. If it's almost like, and biting.
With people too, right? For God's sake.
Right, guys? Look at that.
If you're definitely going to take that big risk, then
give a little nibble to see how she reacts. But just very gently, okay? Let's take it easy. Let's take it easy. And then, when it comes to the clitoris, what do we always suggest you do? Be careful, men, with your fingernails. Because men tend to think, and of course, today my finger is hurt, right? But men tend to think the movement is like this, right? On the clitoris. But actually, it's not, right? Because you're scraping your nail here. That's not going to end well. Use this part of your finger here, look. The soft part of your fingers to do this. So it's not with your nail that you're going to do it. you're going to make circular motions with the soft part of your finger, you know? Always well lubricated. So circular motions, up and down movements. This goes for the tongue as well. I'm demonstrating with my finger, but it's the same thing. With your mouth, it's the same thing. The difference is that your mouth can do other things, right? Also, don't try to dig all the way to China with your tongue or your finger, because you're not going to get there, you know? Take it easy. Explore slowly. With both your tongue and your finger. Make circular motions up and down. If you're using your mouth, suck a little, you know? Give a little suck. Play with your lips too, with your tongue. Explore without rushing. I think the main thing men need to understand is do it without rushing and with enthusiasm. Anything you do without rushing and with enthusiasm has a great chance of working out. And ask, you know, like, hey, does this feel good for you? What do you want me to do? Women love it, guys. Serious. Ask us. Oh, that's fine. And listen, if she wants it faster, she does it faster. If she's about to come, then that's a very important tip. If the woman is almost orgasming, whether during sex, with penetration, or oral sex, don't change what you're doing. Do you know when the woman is there? Oh, I'm going to come. And then men change what they're doing, guys. Mistake, 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 mistake. Don't do that. If the woman is enjoying what you're doing, she's saying don't stop. Don't stop, my dear. Doing
The same thing.
Keep going, just the same way. She will come if she's almost there, you know? Don't change what you're doing. She'll get there. So, yeah, that was a really random tip, but it just came to me now. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. All right, so going back to stimulation. Remember, you're not dealing with a piece of rubber here. You're dealing with a very sensitive part of a woman's body. So be sensitive, be gentle, you know, and be creative too. You can use your finger as well. For example, what we just talked about, reaching the G-spot, is a great exercise for you to do while you're licking up here. Try to reach the G-spot, insert your finger there. You don't need to go as deep as the woman's uterus. Just a little bit of your finger making a come here motion toward the exit, right? Place your finger here and make a come here motion.
Do it.
Make a come here motion with your finger, okay? While you're licking, notice these things and also play with her perineum. If she likes it, you can go lower too. Take the opportunity to stimulate the whole area. The more pleasure options you both have, the better it will be for both of you. I think the key is allowing yourself to consider other options and to explore as well, again, without rushing and with genuine desire. When you do it without rushing and with real desire, it's very hard for things to go wrong.
For those who didn't catch it, what is the perineum? It's the little space between the vagina and the anus, right?
That's right, and men have it too. It's the same name for men as well. The area between the scrotal sac, between the testicles and the anus, that region is called the perineum, even in men. It's an extremely great area for you to explore as well. Or to let someone else explore, since it's kind of hard for you to reach it on your own, I think. But it's a very, because men have an issue, but if we look at this topic, we'd need a whole show just to talk about male anal pleasure, because talking about male anal pleasure with men is really difficult. But the perineum, try the perineum and let me know if it works. Comment later if it works, because the perineum is a very sensitive area. It has a lot of nerve endings, and it's such a tiny little part of the body that we just forget about. We only pay attention to the vulva, the penis, and the ass. So we don't care about what's in between.
That whole area, the thigh, especially the inner thigh right here on the side, a little bite on the thigh there, that's a hit, right? It's a hit, right? It's a hit, right? It's a hit, right?